Hey, this is James, fitness and sports instructor with PSP Kingston, coming with you workout of the day. It's a flexibility mobility session that we're going to run through. So before we get into anything, just a quick reminder, if you feel during this session or any other sessions that you might have hurt or injured yourself, make sure you get that checked out with a medical professional. Make sure it's nothing too serious. And if you are a CAF member, just make sure you fill out a CF98. So again, getting into this flexibility mobility session today, what we're going to be working with today is the Sots Press, which is essentially a deep overhead squat position with some dowel pressing. So for our dowel, I've got an old broomstick handle here, so you might have to sacrifice a broomstick at home for the purpose of this session today. Other options that could work would be like a hockey stick or something of that sort. Just make sure that it's has enough length to it, and make sure that it's relatively light. If the object gets too heavy, it kind of loses some of the stimulus and it's a little hard to control with the Sots Press. So something that's light and you have enough distance for your hands. So we're just going to run through the movement really quick. It's a little bit easier to see than to talk through. So for the Sots Press overhead position, you're going to want to go pretty wide with your hands, way outside of shoulder width. As we can see here, dowel up overhead. So from this position here, just coming into a squat position. So you should have feet roughly hip distance apart or just outside. Feet can be straighter, pointed out. And then from that position here, squatting down into that deep squat position with the dowel overhead. So from this position here, the Sots Press, you're bringing that dowel down to the upper back, pressing back up, down to the upper back, pressing back up while holding that deep squat position. Make sure you get those knees pushed out to keep them over top of the toes, getting that nice position, getting those hips down as low as you can. So adjust that squat depth to what is comfortable for you. So we're going to turn the angle here, just showing from a front angle, squatting down, press, press, and then we'll go right from a side angle here. So you can see that back position, nice and straight, spine's nice and long, keeping the chest up. And from this position here, keeping that dowel pushed back so it's staying over top of the center of gravity on the heels. So that's our Sots Press. So the way that we're going to kind of program this for our flexibility and mobility piece here, you can read it down in the description below, but we'll just kind of run through it. So from that deep squat position with the Sots Press, we're going to do 5 Sots Press, stand back up from the deep squat position, kind of readjust if we need to, back down, do another 5. So we're going to do 5 by 5. So 5 of the squats with the 5 Sots Press between each one would be 1 set. And we're going to do somewhere between 3 and 5 sets in total. So take your time when you're in that deep squat position, feel things out. If you need to adjust your feet, right, find a position that's really comfortable for you. Again, feet roughly hip distance apart, just a little bit wider. Toes can be straight forward, pointed out. A lot of people will find that pointed out position to be a little bit more comfortable. Just make sure that they don't get splayed out too far. Something around like a 30 to 45 degree angle with the feet is usually kind of what you want to shoot for on that one there. But when you do splay the feet out, make sure those knees get pushed out as well, so you keep that knee alignment over top of the toes. So this one kind of pairs as both a mobility drill as well as a bit of a testing drill as well. So depending on where you're struggling with, whether it's getting into the deep squat position, you might have something going on with either your hips or your ankles. And then with that dowel position, if you're having trouble with keeping that dowel back and it's kind of drifting forward, that might be more of an issue with some upper back or T-spine mobility. So while also working on your mobility as you go through the pattern, it also is a little bit of a testing tool that kind of gives you an idea of some of the stuff that you might want to pinpoint and work on later on. So give it a go. Let us know what you think in the comments section if you have any questions or concerns. Make sure you're following along with all of the PSP Kingston social media channels. We've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is where you're going to find all the workout of the day videos and the library of past content that you can check out as well. And again, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, let us know.
PSP Kingston, the health and wellness provider for the military community.